wave impacted or crashed on a shore of 350 million fairly well-to-do white-collar workers. And the mobile wave is crashing on a shore of 7 billion people, and it's coming at them 150 hours a week. It's somewhere on the order of 100 times cheaper to run a piece of software on a mobile phone than on a PC, and that's having profound utilitarian impact on the economy. Now, that begets the global wave, because the global wave is the software providers who are primarily Western companies, the Googles, the Facebooks, right? The Apples. These companies are coming out of a Western culture. They're selling software that comes out of an English culture based on Western values, that's subject to American law, that's based on the American currency, the dollar. And we're creating a massive trading network based upon all of these Western protocols. If you win the first billion people, the Western Europeans, the Americans, if they embrace your software, you can ship your product or service to the next 6 billion people for a nickel. In the process of implementing all of those compelling mobile applications, American companies are going to create a product, a newspaper, a healthcare service, a bank, an insurance service that they can export to the other 6 billion people on the planet. And we're going to win that export war. It's going to be American technology that's going to proliferate through China and India and Asia and Europe, because America is the greatest market for mobile software. These are products that are going to go far and beyond the American shores, and they're going to generate massive amounts of export income to us that will come back to us. And so as the great American technology companies succeed by selling and by distributing their products internationally, that's going to bring prosperity back to America, and it's going to cement America's leadership politically, economically, and legally, as well as American values. I can push any lecture from kindergarten up through PhD onto that television screen from the palm of my hand. That means that any of 6 billion people with a mobile device are within 10 years of being able to get a free education through PhD. Right? It costs $750,000 to get an education through a PhD in the Western world. And we have 3 billion people on the planet that live on $700 a year. So what happens if I give a $750,000 education to 3 billion people and I generate 1 billion of them are illiterate, right? I start by creating 1 billion people that can read, then I take 3 billion people that are unskilled, right, and I turn them into doctors and biologists with PhDs. You know, I never met anybody, right, anybody that was sick or with a loved one dying of cancer that said, oh, if only I had more illiterate, uneducated people to help cure that cancer, right? An unskilled person is not going to solve any problem you have, right, in the Western world. What you need is a doctor, a biologist, a pharmacologist, someone that's got a very specific skill, right, that's going to invent a fusion device, that's going to make a new airplane, that's going to create a better radio, that's going to cure the common cold, that's going to create a more sophisticated mechanism that's going to make your life better. We need skilled labor. Skilled labor is going to come from education, and mobile is the cheapest, best way to provide education. So now we've got the little toggle switch that shows you traffic flow rates and traffic jams on the map. And if I were to give you a map and it didn't show you where the traffic was jammed, you would think it's kind of a stupid map. The obvious application, of course, is where do I drive? Do I drive down Route 66 or down George Washington Parkway? But the secondary application is I can probably calculate the rate of economic growth in any given metro area by how the traffic is building. I can tell you how much economic activity takes place by the hour, by the day, by the week, over the course of the year. If I start to look at this year versus last year traffic flow rates, I can tell you the demand for fuel, I can tell you the demand for automobiles, I can tell you the demand for tires. I can tell you whether or not this state's economy is growing faster than that state's economy. I can see the correlation of weather to traffic patterns. And so the impact on politics and economics and science is profound.